morning, Dubai. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show, where we go through all of our trending stories that everyone in the UAE is talking about. Our top story today: major fog descends across the city.
We'll also be talking about Dubai's Museum of the Future has welcomed over 1 million visitors.
Ramadan, we're just under 1 month to go, so we're going to bring you all of the etiquette, which you may not be aware of for non-Muslims in the UAE, and how the city actually changes throughout that time.
And this is a huge rage, but the wireless festival is coming, and Travis Scott is going to be headlining.
Which is super exciting. It's going to be his first show ever in the UAE. And then later in the show, it's MS Talks 2.0, Motherhood and Multiple Sclerosis. Can you become a mother? We answer that question and more in a really insightful chat as part of a collaboration with Novartis. So all of that and more. Now, good morning to you all. We love seeing your comments come through. Hi, Jonah. Hi, Onial. Hi, Warren. Everyone that's saying hi, I hope you can help us answer this important question.
What is the question?
Well, we've been mulling over property prices in the UAE are getting more expensive. You cannot necessarily live where you want to live. So the question is, would you rather live in like a big house, like maybe a villa with nice facilities, but it's like 3 or 4 bedrooms, but it's an hour and a half commute, like a 90-minute commute every single day, or small place? But it's convenient. So like it could be old, but it's like right where you want to live, and it's right beside your work, right beside your gym, right beside everywhere you want to eat. So like small place, convenient, big place, very far away.
Okay, so you're asking me my dream house 2 hours away, it's a long commute, or like a very, very convenient location right next to all my friends. Oh,
Mansion far away, studio nearby.
Oh,
Mansion, studio.
but the studio comes with all of the benefits of being around your friends, and then I have so much FOMO. It's like I always want to be around my friends. But like studio.
Studio?
No, mansion. Okay, mansion. Mansion. I would go with the first option.
2-hour commute
house,
every single day, and you're in early. So is it at 7:50 every single morning? Therefore, you have to leave at 5:50 every morning.
Oh my god!
And you'd only get home at like 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
I don't know. Someone's saying small place convenience, of course. Thank you for.
But like your dream house.
Someone said a camper van. Genius.
Camper. What did he say?
Camper van.
Camper van. Yeah. Just ditch both the ideas.
That's just a small place. Van. A lot of people are saying small place convenience. What
about you? Small place?
I don't know the answer to the question. That's why I asked.
But if you had you have to answer this question, what would you choose?
Small place convenience. I like being close to work. I hate having long commutes. I just think it's such a waste of time. And therefore, if you live in the small place, you can do more with your you time and make yourself feel better. If you're in a 2-hour commute every day, that's tough. And I really feel for the people who are in those long commutes. You're
selling me to the studio with a convenient location.
But should I dream big? Should I dream bigger? Should I picture myself in this mansion?
But I mean, like 2 hours away, it really like just pours water on all the benefits.
But then your weekends are going to be lit.
Is it next to a salon?
Good question.
Is it next to any restaurant? Is it next to the gym?
It's not next to restaurants. It's not next to the gym. It's not next to a salon. It's just this gorgeous house in the middle of the countryside.
Okay, you know what? I think just fine. Studio apartment it is.
Yeah.
A convenient location. That really sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
You would give up a mansion over convenience.
It's because I like to be close to work. At the gym. Yeah.
You're saying all the right things.
Well, I don't like a commute. It's such a waste of time. And when you have a long commute, it just...
You know what? If I had a driver with that mansion, like, you know, then I guess it
genius
should
thinking.
Be a little okay.
Big place, and then get your friends to move there too.
Yeah, and I could have a Joey room from one of my Joey friends.
All your friends would want to stay in your mansion all the time. Anyway, thanks for all your thoughts on that one. The jury is still out, I think. Okay, top story today. If you've looked out your window or if you sent us a DM, and thank you to everyone that has, you'll know that major fog has descended across the city. So yeah, of course, we're talking about the fog this morning in both Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We've woken up under thick blanket of beautiful, however, dare we say, inconvenient fog. Fog alerts throughout Dubai and Abu Dhabi this morning, predominantly inland, but residents of Dubai are sharing snaps, and also the Abu Dhabi drivers have gotten that usual alert about warnings on the streets.
Yeah, this morning I woke up to like heavy fog, and it was just like, yes, we love fog. We love fog so much. But yeah, if you're out there driving, do be careful. Make sure you have your fog lights on. Very important. It's called headlights, right? No, headlights are always on. Your high beam. It's called high beam.
Ali? Fog lights, specific fog lights. And I think there's a strict rule on you're not meant to put your headlights on. You have to make sure you have your fog lights on. So if someone knows how to turn on the fog lights of a Pajero, please come.
You don't know? I think you turn it twice. No?
Pajero drivers?
Ali's like, he'll show you
I'm a
after
new driver.
Did you hear Ali?
Yeah, he's going to show me after. Much appreciated. We put a poll up on Instagram this morning if you love fog or if you hate it, because the general consensus from all of the stories that goes live is that people love the fog.
Yeah.
Not too much for me. I don't get it. I much prefer waking up and seeing the sunrise and sun shining.
But it's so nice when, you know, like the city is foggy, especially when tourists are like here for the first time. And they're just like, because it becomes so dreamy, the whole city. And, you know, with the pleasant weather on top of that. And apparently, like this week, it's meant to get hotter today and tomorrow.
Again?
Yeah, like the temperatures are supposed to be on the rise like today and tomorrow. But I guess, I think maybe that's going to be the humidity coming into play because of the fog. But yeah, foggy all day, not all day, all morning. And then tomorrow looks clear, Friday looks clear, and then Saturday again we have a cloudy skies.
It is a wild one with the weather as always. Stay tuned. Someone's saying hate the fog and humidity in general. I think the longer you've been here, the more you appreciate the fog.
Yeah.
So you grew up here and therefore you love the kind of cloudy, whimsical weather.
Of course.
However, I still, 9 years, still just love the sun.
You don't like the fog at all, is it?
No, it's inconvenient and it's cold.
I mean, yes, it is cold. I'll give you that. It's cold, but it's like, it's cold, but without the, you know, the repercussions of rain. But it's still nice, and like, of course, the humidity level is also so horrible when it's foggy.
It's cold out. It's not that humid. I just love the sun every day.
I love inhaling
I'm not bored
fog.
of it. I'll never get bored of it.
You never get bored of the sun, during the summer as well.
I mean, get back to me in 10 years. But I like clear days.
Clear days.
I grew up with fog.
Oh my God.
Thick, heavy fog in the Irish countryside. I don't need any more of it.
Yeah, Jitin told me, like, when he was staying in Ireland, he would always check the weather forecasts. Like,
why?
Because the weather is so unpredictable there. Because one day it's like rainy, one day it's foggy, one day it's like this, one day it's that. So he got into the habit of always checking the weather forecast to see how to dress. So he does that here as well in Dubai.
Well, most days in Ireland it's overcast. You don't get that many sunny days. So.
No. My ideal weather, I'll tell you that much. But you guys, congratulations to a Museum of the Future, because Dubai's Museum of the Future has welcomed over 1 million visitors. And the Museum of the Future, has received more than 1 million visitors from 163 countries in the year since its official opening on 22nd February 2022. And more than 1,000 international dignitaries, ministers, officials, and experts visited the museum throughout the past year. And the 1 millionth mark constitutes of a milestone in Dubai and the UAE's path to imagine, inspire, and design the future.
So Mohammed Al Gurbi, who is the UAE Minister of Cabinet Affairs and Chairman of the Museum of Future, said that we pledged that the Museum of Future would host 1 million visitors in its first year, and today we celebrate the achievement of this target and the launch of a new year for the museum, during which we will continue to design the future for a better world for all in the coming years and decades. He also added that the museum has contributed to bringing a clear shift in the traditional view of museums and has proven the importance of harnessing future foresight.
It is the go-to place for tourists. Anyone down in Dubai, I think no matter what you come down for, right? Like a celebration, visits, like even if you're attending, like for example, if you're attending Gulf Foods, like any of the big exhibitions happening, you do want to take time out to do like other things. And the main attraction that tourists are just so hung up on visiting is Museum of the Future.
Interesting, I just think there's so many. And it's like when you have someone coming to town, how do you even figure out where to send them? But Museum of the Future, of course, is one. It's beautiful inside and out. I could just go and sit and look at it all day. Nearby you have the Frame, you have the Burj Khalifa. Like,
exactly.
It's just, I just feel like there's not just one spot that people want to visit. The city is just filled, and one visit is not enough if you're a tourist.
And you can literally, like, I think all around, they've made it just so much more engaging because now they have food trucks around and nice hotels, and like you can just make a day of it, go eat at the hotel opposite. But it's, I mean, like the tickets are sold out all the way until March 11th. So you can just see like the rush for this because it's perfect for all ages, right? Whether you have kids, whether they're adults, whether they're senior citizens. It's like the perfect museum for everyone. And it's like a futuristic one, so it's like something you've really not seen anything like before.
And those numbers passing through, we've also had the numbers recently of the numbers going through DXB in the last year, and it's just time and time again proving the phenomenal growth of the city in terms of tourism and also just expat growth, which is phenomenal. Which leads us into our next story. So Ramadan in the UAE, there's 1 month to go. It's expected to begin on the evening of Wednesday, 2022 March. It will be dependent on the crescent moon signings, and with this signifies the holiest month in the calendar year.
So it is the month of pity, charity, and blessings, during which capable Muslims are required to abstain from eating and drinking from dawn to dusk. Such fasting is one of the 5 pillars of Islam.
And today we're going to talk about some of the etiquette for non-Muslims in the country, and also just how the city changes during the month. So if you are new to the city, if you're watching our show for the very first time, the city does change. So for example, working hours for both Muslims and non-Muslims are reduced by 2 hours. So even if you're not fasting, the majority of workplaces will cut their work hours by 2 hours. Also with that, opening hours of restaurants change. So most restaurants adhere to the hours of fasting. So they are closed during the day and open in the evening. Some restaurants and cafes are open during the day. You can eat inside. You can order for delivery. You can do takeaway. You can do dine-in within the restaurants. However, then eating in public is not allowed. And they also recommend booking a table for dinner ahead of time because restaurants get very busy during the evenings.
Exactly. Malls will stay open until late night. So that's one thing. Parking timings will change. So we just have to wait for the announcement. But usually so typically it's parking is free after 10 p.m. Like you don't have to pay for parking after 10 p.m. But that's going to change. And fasting and driving behavior, of course, like you have to be much more vigilant on the road during like iftar periods, because that's when people are rushing to get home to be with their families or to break their fasts. So that's when you have to drive even more like carefully out there. And then of course availability of taxi. So during iftar periods, that's when it's like peak time. You will see a higher demand for taxi, so you do have to make taxi bookings in advance.
And it's just those things. So you have been warned now that, you do need to taxis. It is going to be trickier to get taxis, especially at peak times around sunset. It is trickier to book restaurants. And, there's only so much the city that can do, that these changes will happen. And you just kind of have to roll with the punches, so to speak, just because that is what you could expect closer to the time. And then also just for etiquette. So if it's your first time being in the UAE or being in Dubai during Ramadan, there is some etiquette that non-Muslims should also adhere to that you may not be aware of. So eating, drinking and smoking during fasting hours in public is not allowed. That also includes chewing gum. And then they have some additional rules that you can follow.
Exactly. So other additional rules include engaging in any aggressive behavior, abstain from that, dancing or playing music in public, although you may listen to music quietly with headphones. Also, do not swear, as blasphemy is considered extra offensive during Ramadan, and refuse a gift or an invitation to join someone at iftar. Like if someone's inviting you, do take that up.
Interesting. I actually, the refuse a gift or an invitation to join someone for iftar, that's good to know, right? That it's not good etiquette to refuse it. So if you get a gift, you need to accept it graciously, and then, or an invite to join someone at iftar, accept that too.
Exactly. So there you have the full rundown for what you can be expecting during Ramadan.
And let's jump into our next story.
Now, Wireless Festival is coming and Travis Scott is headlining. Now, we are less than a month away, and the Wireless Festival, Europe's largest music and pop culture celebration, is coming to the Middle East for the first time on March 11th, 2023. And for those living under a rock, the festival is known for high energy vibes and immersive experiences and promises to be a highlight of Abu Dhabi music calendar.
No doubt. When this was announced, like, people are jumping out of their seats to get tickets. Their fingers are literally not working. That's how quickly they want to get tickets to this. The festival will be taking place on Abu Dhabi's Yas Island. There's going to be Lil Uzi Vert is going to be there. Wegs is going to be there. Black Sharif is going to be there. Ali Gaty, who I think he's going to come on the show, is going to be here. King, Divine, Young Stunners, and many more. But the big news dropping is that you guys know Travis Scott is going to be headlining. It's his first ever concert in the UAE because he was meant to come before and then he had to pull out for different reasons. So it's going to be his first ever concert in the UAE. By the way, tickets are on ticketmaster.ae. They're available now, and I would run if you're planning to get them. Have you ever seen Travis Scott, the energy he gives in a live gig? Wild.
I have not, but I've heard and I've seen videos and the hype, and just it's crazy the kind of crowd that he pulls. So I mean, I know so many people like super excited for this festival.
It's going to be crazy. Ticketmaster.ae for your tickets. A huge lineup. So I think Travis Scott is just like peak, you know, in terms of like just like the cherry on top. But you know, take him out, you still got a massive lineup there to look forward to, and it's happening in Abu Dhabi, and it's not that far away. So get excited, get your tickets. And that leads us in to our interview, MS Talks 2.0, Motherhood and MS, Can I Become a Mother? So there are many misconceptions about multiple sclerosis, and one of the biggest is that of motherhood. So in this episode of MS Talks 2.0, we're joined by Dr. Susan Nouri to bring awareness and also just to debunk those common misunderstandings that people have. From having children to how to live a normal family life with MS. Stay tuned, she'll be with us right after this. This is MS Talks 2.0, Let's Discuss Facts, a series brought to you by Novartis. As we've discussed throughout this series, there are many misconceptions that surround multiple sclerosis. One of the biggest is that MS and motherhood. There is a general lack of understanding, and there are many questions on whether you can live a normal life and be there for your family the way you want to be, or even whether you can have children at all. Here with us today to get greater clarity on this condition is Dr. Susan Nouri, consultant neurologist and MS specialist at University Hospital Sharjah, and director Dr. Susan Nouri Medical Centre, to talk motherhood and MS. Thank you so much for joining us.
Most welcome. My pleasure.
Let's just dive right in. Can you live a normal life with MS?
Yes, definitely. A woman with multiple sclerosis, they can't have a normal life, getting pregnant and getting healthy pregnancy, healthy children, because MS does not have to stop a woman from getting pregnant. And in fact, that a woman with multiple sclerosis, they are just as likely like the normal person, like a normal woman. They can have and can enjoy motherhood, enjoy parenthood.
That's amazing to hear. Thank you for breaking that misconception. However, is there anything that mothers should be aware of before they try to conceive?
Right. Okay. So definitely before getting pregnant, we have 2 points that we have to emphasize. First of all, their MS has to be well controlled on treatment, at least 1 year before getting pregnant or before trying to get pregnant. And this is very important because getting pregnancy while the disease is not controlled might lead to having more relapses, and that might affect the pregnancy itself. So this is the first point. The second point, that pregnancy in general, we advise that pregnancy should be planned, not only for MS patients, but in general. But it is particularly important for patients with multiple sclerosis, especially if they're taking treatment for MS, because we know that some MS treatment can cause some complications with pregnancy or with the babies. And certain medications have to be stopped for a certain period of time before getting pregnant. That's what we call washout period. So we remove the medicine completely from the body before getting pregnant. Of course, we have so many other medications that do not have this risk and can be taken until the last minute when the woman finds out she's pregnant, then she can stop it. But not all the medicines have the same the characteristics. So we advise that pregnancy should be planned, and this has to be arranged with the patients and her treating neurologist.
And what in the case of an unplanned pregnancy?
Pregnancy, if happened unplanned, and unfortunately this happens or almost 40%, 50% of our patients, so they have to stop the medicine completely. And we have from the registries for pregnancy that most of these pregnancies will go to term without any complications, and even for the follow-up of the babies after delivery, they are doing well, no issues. But of course, there are one or two medicines that we need to do what we call like accelerated washout, so that we need to wash out the remaining drug from the body. But if, as you mentioned, if happened unplanned, so nothing we to do, just to stop the medicine and to carry on. And there is no need to go for abortion, no need to go for anything. Yeah.
And are there any risk factors in general associated with having pregnancy with MS?
In fact, no. So getting pregnant or carrying a child does not impose any risk for the mother. And maybe 30 years, 40 years ago, neurologists used to discourage women who have MS from getting pregnant, from becoming pregnant, because of the misconception at that time that pregnancy might worsen their condition. So scientists, with the observations that pregnancy is fine with MS, so now we have all the evidence that pregnancy can protect the woman from getting relapses during the pregnancy. So especially at the second and third trimester. So it is safe to get pregnant, and of course there is no other risk of getting miscarriages or abortions, and there is no risk of having premature delivery, and there is no risk of having ectopic pregnancy or pregnancy outside the uterus. So it is safe for a woman who, of course, provided that she has a well-controlled disease before she gets pregnant.
What are the types of fears that some mothers might come to, some of the concerns that mothers-to-be with MS might have?
Most of the time when we diagnose a woman with multiple sclerosis, always the question will be, can I get pregnant? Can I lead a normal life? Can I have a family? So this is a concern of almost, because just considering that MS is diagnosed in young women between 20s and 40s. So this is the time that they will start their families. So it's a big concern for them for the pregnancy, if MS can affect the disease, if pregnancy is going to make my condition worse, if pregnancy will be transmitted to my children. So these are the types of the concerns that usually we have from the woman when diagnosed with MS.
And what are some of the factors that we should be aware of going into pregnancy with MS?
When a woman plans for pregnancy, she should be aware, as I mentioned, that her disease should be well controlled. So this is one important point. Medicine has to be stopped before getting pregnant, as we mentioned that with the complications of MS. So planned pregnancy, medications has to be stopped. Always please discuss this with your physician, because he would know which medicine and at what time and how long it should be stopped before getting pregnant. Of course, we will advise also for taking the supplements and vitamins as we do for all other women without pregnancy. Some point that we should mention, of course, they can lead normal pregnancy without any issues, but pregnancy, we know that usually it will be having some symptoms like getting fatigue, getting a weakness. This will be a little bit exaggerated for patients with MS. Maybe they have more frequency for passing urine, maybe they can have more frequency of getting infections of urine, maybe they have more fatigue, feeling more weaker. So we would advise for taking supplements and vitamins, and that would support them during pregnancy until delivery time.
So MS symptoms can be exaggerated. However, there isn't any major cause for concern for mothers entering pregnancy for the first time if they have MS.
But it is because, of course, pregnancy is hormonal changes in the body, and that can lead by itself to the feeling of feeling fatigued and tired. This is a bit exaggerated because MS by itself is a disease that can cause fatigue, and fatigue one of the major symptoms that usually our patients will suffer.
So what advice would you give for someone who needs treatment but they still want to breastfeed?
Okay, so this depends on what type of treatment they are on. But of course, as I mentioned earlier, this has to be discussed with their treating physician, neurologist. There are some medication that can be taken while breastfeeding, although that we know that very negligible amount that will come to the milk. But still they can't breastfeed. So it's not all the medicines that are forbidden during this period during the breastfeeding, I mean. So it depends again on the stability of their disease and the decision with their treating neurologist.
Any stages of motherhood that might be hindered by MS? Stages of parenting?
Not really. If the woman is well prepared for this, and if she doesn't have any kind of physical disabilities, let's say, so definitely, because raising a child is it's a major thing, definitely. And we are lucky that in our communities here we have support from the families and the family members, so from the other friends and family members. So definitely that will be very helpful for a woman to raise a child. But of course, if she has good energy and she's doing her exercise, eating healthy, and taking her supplements and vitamins, she would not have any problem of raising a child.
Well, that's interesting, because I was going to ask, is there any pieces of advice you would share with a mother who's interested in conceiving? Right. So as well as eating healthy and taking supplements, is there anything else that you could recommend? I
would recommend them to be positive, of course, and they should never lose hope. Disease does not affect their normal life, does not affect their wishes to become pregnant or become a parent, and they should expect, of course, and accept the bad days, but bad days are not or do not equal to bad life. They can enjoy life with MS, they can enjoy motherhood, they can enjoy parenthood. So many questions regarding motherhood and MS, so I really appreciate you coming here to debunk those and to disprove the misconceptions. Thank you very much for joining us today. Most welcome. Thank you everyone for joining. Also, MS Talks 2.0, let's discuss facts. Stay tuned for the next episode.
This show is brought to you by the Augustus Media Podcast Network. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it.